Still an asshole.
Yeah, no, definitely. 100%.
But yeah.
Alright.
What, you're kicking me out now?
Well, you threw a big fit about how much you didn't want to be a part of it.
Okay, well, I'm gonna leave.
Okay.
It was super interesting today.
What?
So, I was listening to the World War I podcast, and I know that's not interesting at all.
I think that's interesting as hell.
Do you want to talk about it?
I do, but I don't know if everybody else does.
No.
I don't know what we're going to do on this show.
So,
Well, you know what? Anything could be better than what we just witnessed.
yeah, that's
so...
very true. So I'm going to close that.
Mishmo out.
Sorry to
you can
do
be our
that to you.
resident researcher during this episode, James.
It was
Although I'm going to ask that you don't sit
one
there.
last thing. It was super funny because Brian texted me, I feel dirty now. And I thought I was going to witness the worst rape scene in the history of movies. Whatever. And then
maybe it's one of those selling it high. I don't know.
Maybe.
And
Right.
he's just the
worst.
the
Mishmo
worst.
out.
All right, enjoy your butt scrub.
Okay,
Scrub
bye.
some butts.
All right, guys, just real quick. This is episode 1 of the official Screenplay podcast. We're just going to do a normal talking about randomness podcast where we just think of something and talk
Yeah, I got a bunch of stuff we can
for
talk
an
about.
hour and a half, and then we'll leave you alone after that. I don't even know what we're going to call it.
It's talk about random stuff for an hour and a half and then we'll get the fuck out podcast.
That's the whole name. This included. That everything that I'm saying right now is in the name.
Yeah.
When we make the photo of Photoshop, this too, it will be this.
Mm-hmm. It's a little long. Doesn't roll off the tongue like other things, but people are gonna love it.
Just each week it has a different title, and then you have to try to find out what the title is, or else you can't listen to the episode. For that exclusive.
Just found a receipt on the floor in my room.
What's the receipt?
It's kind of ripped. I'm going to read exactly what I think it says. 1 ALCN.
Okay.
Number 2 CBP 1101. Thank you.
Where do you buy things?
I don't know.
Okay.
Russian military surplus. Oh, there's a picture of my sister too.
Oh, really?
Look at that. She had her school play.
She looks like Elsa from Frozen.
Yeah, I think it was last week, and it's funny. Everyone that I know and love, all my family members that went and saw it, they all tried to send me video of it because apparently she just did so good.
Is she gonna be an entertainer?
I hope so, and I think so. She says vet sometimes, but I think she'll
Well, I feel
she'll
like
probably be an entertainer who focuses on animal rights and stuff like that.
I think every person goes through their
Vet stage.
vet phase.
They just know they like cats, so they.
I went through. I wanted to be an astronaut, and then I wanted to be a baseball player, and then I wanted to be a soccer player, and then I think a doctor. Those are the ones you always in our society you hear about.
You know what's something kind of crazy?
James is giggling for some reason.
Something kind of crazy. According to my mom, it was always directing or movie making in some way. Or the army. Those were the only two. Those are the only two things I ever wanted to be, according to my mom. It was a problem too with sports because I wasn't interested enough to be the kid that played sports in college from a young age, which kind of upset my dad a little bit because it seemed like I didn't care. That's kind of fun.
Sorry, I'm laughing. I don't know why. I just think the idea of Brian as an astronaut.
What part of that's funny, James?
I don't know. I just picture you on the phone with your mom, just hey, Mom, I can see Kansas from here. Wait, I'm not in Kansas right now. Oh, well, I can see Rhode Island too, so it's okay.
These long distance calls are killer, Mom.
Just you making some terrible dad jokes. I'm hanging up now, but I'm in space. You made a shitty joke.
Mom, going into a tunnel.
Going into a tunnel.
It's a wormhole.
A space tunnel.
Just kidding, it's a black hole.
Oh.
You know what I really wanted to be when I was younger? I don't know why, but I really wanted to be a mailman.
I'm
not surprised at all.
Could see that more than anything.
Yeah, I know. I can
more
still
than
see
film
it.
Producer. So when you think film producer, you think angry yelly dude, and when you think mailman, you think the friendliest guy in the neighborhood who sleeps with your mom.
And I haven't heard. Yeah. No, but you'd be the person that you didn't mean to sleep with the mom.
Yeah.
It just happened.
It just kind of happened. Something that happened.
I guess that's better.
If you know, like, I feel like.
Did
James,
the kid walk in and like, oh, what's the mailman doing here?
You'd be the nice mailman or the nice pool boy in an alternate reality.
Well, that's been.
He'd be the pool boy who the rich heiress, like the 50-something-year-old heiress, hires just so she can look at him while he tends to the pool shirtless.
Just everything you say comes off sexual, even if you didn't mean it.
Even if you didn't mean it, not in real life, but in this fake scenario we're making.
I'd say you're watching too much porn, but I know you don't watch
I don't,
porn.
I don't. Brian, maybe.
Not that much.
Clearly just pool boy stuff.
It's just pool boy. Just pool boy porn.
Just pool boy heiress porn.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I want to be a mailman because I got to see everyone else's dogs.
The dogs generally attack
and it just makes more and more sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's just like, oh, hello, dog. Here's your owner's mail. Maybe there's something in you for their chip. Ah ha ha. No.
Woof woof.
James, is there a job you could never see yourself doing? Like, that one job.
Anything in the fashion world?
Ooh. Let's unpack that. That's the name of this episode.
Have you seen the way I...
Let's unpack that.
Have you seen the way I dress?
Fair enough. When we were driving out here...
Just jeans and
I was worried about you a little bit when we were driving out, cross country, because you wore the same tank top every single day. Every single day, I just thought you forgot to pack clothes on your trip to California for you to live then after that.
Honestly, I think most of my clothes were already out here.
Probably.
Left them.
The high fashion world's fascinating to me.
Yeah.
I don't totally get it.
Ugly.
Yeah, but that's not what they're going for necessarily. Because, I think I was asking Michelle this, do they wear it? And generally, no.
Yeah.
It's more of,
Sorry, I don't mean to shit on someone else's art, but...
No, but that's what I was going to say, is I feel like I guess you could say the same thing. It's what's the point?
Yeah.
It's expressing, but it's interesting. I don't get it totally, but I also see why people really like it. But I also couldn't.
No, that's the thing, is it's expression through fashion, so, the fashion, designer is trying to express some kind of idea through the clothing that they're making. But... it's at the same time as most highbrow art. I don't get it.
And it's only the person that made it that gets it.
Yeah, which is art, I guess. Yeah. I'll just keep shopping at.
Also, I guess I just don't like
Penny.
Yeah,
Sue me.
I guess I don't like it. Also, just because there's an aspect of it that just feels too elitist.
Yeah.
It's really a rich person's thing to be into.
Absolutely.
Which maybe that's why I like films, because they're actually affordable to go to and everyone can go see them and have a good time.
And as far as the clothing thing is, just I like caring about what I wear and treating myself and buying nice clothes, but in a practical way. Everything I buy has to be practical and look cool. The watch I bought, I would never have bought a watch if I couldn't get a movement watch. Sponsor us, please. But seriously, they're and even the shoes I get, it's always they look cool, but they are comfortable first. I don't know. I've just to each their own. You know what I mean? I know people that push the boundaries and all that, and good for them. But.
Well, I've made it a point recently to at least put aside money that I'm gonna buy clothes with to try to improve
fashion up,
or just improve wardrobes. Because I do I found that I do like that. I didn't think that I did until I went out and bought some new jeans or bought some whatever. And you feel better. Personally, feel better if what you're feeling, what you're wearing, feels good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, with that said, I won't be wearing the high fashion.
Yeah, the
teapot made a teapot skirt
or a 3-piece suit made of cowhide, but not in a cowboy way, in a gross PETA kind of way.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what happened to young Dumbledore in the Fantastic Beasts movie.
he got elitist.
Yeah, he got elitist, and then he's a regular nice 3-piece suit. Child's Play. It's
Bring
really
on
all
the
about
bejeweled gowns.
And he looked damn good.
And he looks fabulous.
If anyone who made that meme is listening, you did a great job.
You did a good thing.
I love it
You
so
did a good
much.
thing. Well, we had a topic that we wanted to talk about. I think it might be good to get into now.
Can I bring up one more thing?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there's no
that
rules.
World War One, crazy war, right?
Yeah, it's insane.
That's it.
One of the worst ever.
That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, one of
First
the
time
worst
we
ever.
used gas warfare.
It is, yeah.
One of the worst wars ever.
That's about it.
So the topic that we wanted to talk about
no,
was...
sorry to derail. Real quick, I was listening to this podcast about World War One.
What's it called?
It is called Dan Carlin's Hardcore History.
Right,
and
check it out.
Fascinating. It's so good.
We're not affiliated.
Not
anyway.
at all.
Just...
You should listen to it.
Yeah.
And this one's about. I'm forgetting the full name.
Oh, excuse me.
I'm forgetting. The name or the episode of this particular podcast is Blueprint for Armageddon, I believe.
This is the one you were listening to when we were in the car the other day.
And they had he was talking basically about how a bunch of scientists and just like super intelligent people were sitting around at tables back in like the early 1900s. These guys, he had a bunch of names of these people. I don't remember who they were, but they were talking about just the possibility for alien life. Why are we alone in the universe and all that stuff? And they were talking about how this war that they were going into is almost like it's like our test, that at some point in every type of in every life or human life or whatever celestial life we could be out there is a moment when you have that like final test, and that World War One started that. And you may get out of it or you may not, and they're saying that could be the reason why we don't see aliens. We haven't seen any aliens, is that most of these societies or humans, whoever, have been destroyed through that process. It's fascinating.
Yeah, there's another theory too that is equally as scary. Is the reason we haven't encountered other intelligent life is because there is one other civilization out there in the cosmos that reached it first, and they use their advanced technology to seek down other civilizations that are getting close, and they take them out before they get there. So we haven't encountered anybody, because when you get there, you get wiped out. So eventually we will. It
made me feel so small, and it was such a cool point. I had never really thought about that, and who knows, but yeah. And he basically said that that World War One kind of started that test of ours, and we almost, by World War II's ending, almost blew each other all up, and still kind of hold that over each other's heads.
Yep.
But yeah, on that sad note, we were going to talk about celebrities that died in our
celebrity deaths that affected us. It's a cheery first episode, isn't it? James, it was your topic idea, so why don't you go first?
Oh yeah, sure.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah, let's do it.
No, I kind of realized I shouldn't have been that enthusiastic. I'm sorry.
Unless you can be.
I'm going to be enthusiastic about mine.
I mean, I was sad when it happened. So yeah, do you guys know film critic Roger Ebert?
Oh yeah.
All right, yeah. So, Mr. Thumbs Up, the coolest guy. It didn't come to me as too much of a shock, because I know he was battling cancer for a while. But I watched At the Movies since I was a kid, and unfortunately I missed his era, because he was just getting too sick and just couldn't be on this show anymore. So he had passed the baton to Richard Roeper, other really good reviewer from the Chicago Tribune, who kind of took over with guest host A.O. Scott, Michael Phillips. All other very good. Even Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith came on to review movies with him sometimes.
He's a good film reviewer.
Oh no, yeah,
I tend to agree with him more often than I don't, except when it comes to most DC films.
He loves anything comic books. I don't.
They didn't have him on for the. Oh man, if they had him on this decade,
unapologetically and biasedly so.
Yeah, and I
love him for it, but
it is every time. Yeah, I'm imagining him just being pissed about something, and he's like, "Oh, it was fun. I felt like a kid the whole time."
Yeah, that was a good impression.
You know.
But yeah, so I watched a lot of Roger Ebert's reviews, like through their At the Movies website. His old reviews with Gene Siskel, also R.I.P. He passed away in '99 though. But yeah, I always and I wrote reviews like since the beginning of high school. I just do that for fun, and then started doing it for my paper. And as you guys know, did it into college and still do it for fun. But yeah, so I always read his and his books and stuff. And when he died, I kind of just I was in my film class, it was after school, an after school program, and some guy just said it very nonchalantly, and I'm just like, wait, what? He's like, oh yeah, the thumbs up guy.
Thumbs up guy.
I'm like, no, me just sitting there, just like I got the wind knocked out of me.
Yeah. Did the guy notice that you were?
Oh no, yeah. Everyone's like, dude, are you okay? I'm like, no. It really just and it's weird because it's gonna be a huge topic on this whole episode, but you don't know the guy.
Yeah.
You really don't know the person, but you feel like you do.
Well, the thing about celebrity is, for good or ill, you associate a lot of who you are with the people that you look up to, and that has a lot to do with mine when I get there.
Yeah.
But
I also think that's a lot for a celebrity to carry.
Yeah.
I know some.
Sure.
You have many people's weight on your shoulders. Some deal with it better than others.
The Game Grumps aren't dead, but they talk about it a lot. How it's when they do live shows and they do Q&As, they love and hate it because everyone deals with their own mental stuff, and especially I feel in the digital world, YouTube and stuff like that, you have just as many big fake personalities like your Logan and Jake Pauls who are just they were built in a computer to be billionaires because the internet likes them. But then you have your exceptions like the Game Grumps and smaller channels like them, or you know what I mean? And they talk about it a lot where it's they love hearing about how people I watch Game Grumps when I feel down and it helps. So they love hearing that, but at the same time they're just normal. Imagine with all of the mental shit that you guys deal with on a daily basis, if you had a show that got millions of views consistently and millions of people who told you that when they think about hurting themselves they watch Game Grumps to prevent it, or your show to prevent themselves from hurting themselves. That's a lot of fucking responsibility to add to the rest of the bullshit that you deal with on a daily basis.
And then to jump off that with Ebert being the voice of reason for movies in the country and possibly the world.
Yep.
I think that's why he was one of my heroes, just because he really got people to go to the movies. His word actually did mean something.
Well,
and it was just simple. He doesn't need to use big words or anything like that. Just thumbs up.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
I had the original box set Star Wars trilogy on VHS, and before every single one, there was a 25-minute Robert Ebert review, an interview with George Lucas about the production of the movie.
Oh, that's cool.
I used to put those on when I went to bed. I wore out A New Hope. Our New Hope VHS doesn't work anymore because I watched it so many times. That's my favorite Star Wars movie.
Right.
And I would put that on and just watch his review because, even as a kid, just how they made the movies was what fascinated me about them. You know what I mean? And I just remember watching this. This actually is kind of related. I remember I went through my first existential crisis. We talked about it on Stepping Out of Storage. Our patrons will know if they've listened to that episode. But my first real cognizant thought about the fact that I'm gonna die someday happened because of Cars on DVD. Because at the end of the DVD, and I can't remember if it was at the end of the movie or at the end of one of the featurettes, they shout out one of the guys who was a big friend of the production who died while it was being made. I cannot remember the guy's name because it's been so long, but I just remember how much that affected me as a oh wow, like forever someone's soul will be attached to this movie. Whatever you think about it is irrelevant. It's like that's a true thing, and like that's just a human soul that's no longer around, and it's like wow, why is that affecting me so much? And it's like it's weird that I had death around me enough, you know what I mean? Like I knew of people that passed away and all that kind of thing, but for some reason this was the first time it ever like clicked, you know? It was weird. But Robert, like it's funny you brought him up because he was like one of the big reasons why I wanted to do movies was watching, like that was one of the first like not the movie things that I watched.
Oh, his interview with Lucas?
Yeah, his interview with Lucas about how they made the movie, and I learned about how they made the models and the ships in space and all that cool stuff. Like you just hear it right from Lucas, and like I admired him from a very young age, both of them actually, because Lucas was the first like director whose voice I ever heard
and associated name to
exactly that, yeah. Like yeah, even like I knew Steven Spielberg, but I didn't have a face or a voice to associate him with, because it was at a time when like I was too young to like seek out my own stuff. So
I guarantee like 90% of people that are interested in movies will say the same thing.
Yeah,
because I feel like that movie is like that's like the when you're 2 years old, 3 years old, you can watch it and have fun and
Hero's Journey, baby.
On. Yeah,
you know I used to watch those with my pop all the time. But
yeah, I will also say that Ebert was the reason why I got into movies, and also was the reason I would go to a specific movie.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, we would go, okay, what did Ebert say? 2 thumbs up, fuck yeah, let's go. Like, I remember specifically reading the Dark Knight review.
Oh, yeah.
And being like, oh, fuck yeah. All right, ready to go to this one.
Well, that was also a cool thing about him. He was open to new things and new people in terms of film. He just more cared about film, you know, like surviving and like being shown in different forms, and that was what was so cool about him, because it wasn't just films. He really fought for filmmakers. Like some notable ones was Casey Lemons and what's it called, Steve James, who did like the Hoop Dreams, the documentary, but then he actually did the documentary on Ebert's life, which came out the year after he died, called Life Itself, which is also it was so like it's one of my favorite documentaries because it's about him and it's so good, but it's so sad.
Yeah, Hoop Dreams is good.
Also,
I need to see that one.
We got to acknowledge how good Ebert's burns were, because oh man, he could shit on a movie like no one else.
Have you seen his movie?
Roger Ebert's?
Mm-hmm.
No, and I don't want to, honestly. Because I feel like I'll hear his voice saying, "Why'd you do that, Roger? I don't know, Roger."
He wrote this thing, and I don't remember the full name of it, but it's like Between or Behind the Valley of the Dolls or something like
I don't
that.
think I've ever heard of this.
Yeah,
I worked on it at work recently.
Really?
It came out in like '67 or something.
I had read about it and heard about it, and I finally got to see a little bit of it. It's so like it's what Austin Powers kind of was making fun of. It's like that, like everything you associate with Austin Powers, like that psychedelic, like 60s, 70s look, is that movie, and it's like a porno.
Groovy.
It's crazy. So yeah, James, you should watch it.
I think I'm just gonna have his voice in my head, just like screaming at everything wrong with the film. But okay, I'll try to get around to it.
Anyone listening, definitely watch it because it's fascinating. It's like it's a weird ride.
But yeah, that's a celebrity who impacted me the most until our great Bill Withers or Martin Scorsese passes away. Then that's gonna be a whole nother story.
I liked what you said about identifying, or what we started talking about identifying a part of yourself, like with a celebrity who passed away, or even just a celebrity that's alive. Like we identify with the things that we like, and I actually have two. The first one is Stan Lee, very recently. So like that one's another one, kind of like Roger Ebert, where it's like I knew it was coming, and I knew it was going to happen this year too. I don't know why, but I just had this feeling that he wasn't going to make it throughout the year and see the Avengers finish up and all that. But I can't think of a time in my life where I wasn't like obsessed with Spider-Man or you know what I mean, just superheroes in general, but like I always remember that goofy old guy in the superhero movies who would like pop up, and he was in all of them. Like even in like the first Spider-Man, was definitely the first one where I recognized him, and just so much of my life is like so much of the things that I'm about myself. I credit to the characters that I loved growing up, and Spider-Man's a huge one. This is like the whole like everyman who deals with his normal life responsibilities, and no matter how much shit life peddles his way, he always tries to put other people first and focus on being a good, like the best person he could possibly be. And I've always admired that, and how like Stan Lee loved his like he loved taking the piss and making jokes, and like his cameo in the first Deadpool is a good example of that. I don't know if you remember.
Oh, yeah,
he's working in a strip club.
Jockey. DJ.
Yeah, he's a disc jockey at a strip club. But like, when it comes down to it, he just cared about integrity and being humble and honest and as good a person as you could be, and I always admired that about him. But even more affecting for me was when I found out Robin Williams killed himself. And especially because suicide is a thing that is very close to me personally, and hearing someone I loved so much, and it's weird that I did love him so much, but I never met him in my entire life. I just knew who he seemed to be as a human being based on the stand-up specials that I love to watch, which I haven't watched since because I'll break. The movies he did, like Aladdin, I loved growing up. I loved Dead Poets Society. Good Will Hunting is one of my dad's favorite movies. So like I just, knowing that someone I thought was so funny and seemed so happy and warm and like just good, knowing that he was feeling so much pain internally, and like wondering, it's selfish in a way, but wondering if I could have like helped in any way, like wishing I could have, because genuinely I like knowing what that feels like, and feeling like there's no one around that like you can talk to. That's the worst, and no one should ever have to experience that except Nazis. But
all the Nazis, we are anti-Nazis.
Yeah,
here.
I just want to make that abundantly clear. But yeah, knowing that someone whose job it was to make people smile, like, and who seemed to get so much joy out of making people smile, was hurting so much. Like, having a family that loved you, and just a world full of people, generations of people that love you, that hurt me a lot. I remember exactly where I was when I found out. We were celebrating Kim's birthday. I don't remember. What year was that?
2014.
Yeah,
August.
14. Yeah. We were all sitting around playing cards, and I went into I was just sitting there, and I think Kim was on her phone, and she was like, "Oh my God!" And she looked at me and she said, "Robin Williams just died." And I was like, "What?" So I got up and I had to walk to the bathroom because I started crying like almost instantly. I just walked to the bathroom and I was sitting there by myself for a little bit, just trying to process that. And my mom called me even like, "Hey, so I know you probably just found out about this, but I need to know, are you okay? Do you want me to come get you? Blah, 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 blah." And I'm like, no, I'm all right. I'm with my friends. Yeah, just that one hit me in a real deep place.
I was in New York City.
You should have come through. I was in New York City also.
Yeah, I was in New York. I was with my friend Connor, and we were dropping a car off. I don't remember whose car it was. We were dropping.
It was mine.
Was it? Was it yours?
No.
That's why I don't. I'm like, really?
You looked at me like with such belief.
I don't remember whose car it was.
No.
We were dropping a car off regardless, and we were at this. I specifically remember we were at this Mexican restaurant. This big giant restaurant, and then I felt like at the time that phones started buzzing. It probably wasn't the case, but yeah, we heard, because just people started texting everybody, and everyone at the table just started talking about Robin Williams stories.
Yeah,
and it was one of those deaths that I had not thought of him in probably like 5 years, which, if you read his biography, it's Robin. It's incredible. that's kind of one of the reasons why he ended up going the way he did.
Yeah.
He hadn't been in many films in a long time. He was out of the zeitgeist, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
People, like, the old Robin was not there. Literally and physically, he was not there anymore. What they do talk about in the book is that, like, yeah, if I don't know if it makes you guys feel better, but he wasn't Robin at the end, is what they said. That he had like a crazy form of dementia that basically kind of just attacked his brain.
Yeah.
And it's super sad. But
it makes me feel not better knowing all that. Like it's in a way it's better than thinking that it was the same guy who just felt left behind. Mm-hmm. Like he had genuine things that were wrong with his brain that caused him to feel and think and do the things that ended up taking his life. But it still sucks because, like, you know.
I mean, Billy Crystal was his best friend, and he said he was like, nah, that. He's like, I mean, obviously very sad, but he's like, that's not Robin, you know.
Mm-hmm. So I just watched the Adam Sandler special, the new one that's on Netflix.
100% fresh.
Yeah, and
it's good.
There is a just soul-rending but beautiful song about Chris Farley in that special. I'm getting a little crusty thinking about it, but I just like he's another one, Chris Farley, who, like, as I started to care more about comedy and like the performance aspects of like what we do, and you know, getting more into acting and trying to entertain people and all that, like he's a person that came up more and more in things that I would like. Like I watched Tommy Boy for the first time in my entire life, like just like 2 years ago.
Guy in a little coat.
Yeah. It's just he's one that's like, and it's weird how like retroactively knowing he's gone, it made me sad. Similarly, not as much, not even close to as much, but like I always my whole life knew he was gone, but like just starting to learn more about him and admire him more made me sadder and sadder. You know, this is a weird retroactive affecting celebrity death.
But then with that one, I think of
Candy.
I think of all yeah, John Candy is another one.
Belushi.
But I think of their scenes that made me laugh, like the Tommy Boy when he's trying to sell the brake pads to that one guy and he has the little toy cars will never not make me laugh. And him just screaming and what's his face? Who's the
David Spade?
David Spade is just trying not to laugh the entire time.
He's just the funniest. He's
incredible.
just the most energy in a human being.
Issue called a weight problem.
That's the most energy in a human being I've ever like seen in my life.
What's it called? Sorry, speaking of weight problems. Oh no, Roger Ebert. One of his sick burns. I think it was called Brown Bunny or something like that. Some shitty film that was like Cannes, and Roger Ebert gave it a terrible review because apparently just hearing it, there was apparently a 17-minute scene of a guy just driving, just him driving, nothing else, and yeah, that kind of shit. And the director of it made a really rude comment, just like, what's it called, like. I forgot the exact words, but he was making fun of Ebert's weight because he's you know, a big guy, and like trying to bring him down for that. And Ebert quipped back, I may be fat now, but one day I'll be very skinny, and you'll still be the guy who directed Brown Bunny." I'm like, oh, burn. Okay, sorry.
To bring up, I think, two other idols, and I think this will be interesting hearing one we've already heard from and one that you haven't mentioned, Tyler hasn't mentioned. So Ryan Dunn and then Ebert. What were your thoughts on the whole Ebert making? So if you don't know, when Ryan Dunn passed away, Ebert made a comment, I think more or less said like,
Only jackasses drink and drive.
Yeah, only jackasses let friends drink and drive. I'm curious what you guys think about that.
Well, I mean,
he's not
as much as I love Dunn, and thank you for reminding me of that one. As much as I love Dunn, he's not wrong.
But at the same time, maybe
let him mourn for a while.
Yeah, maybe just don't say shit. Like, just don't tweet that.
He was drunk driving or not.
Oh yeah, he was a fucking idiot for doing that.
Bam's already suicidal about his friend dying. You don't need to make him feel more guilty about it. That's another one. The Ryan Dunn. Jackass is something I associate with a lot of my closest friends growing up. We had our own Jackass show that we did for a little. I feel like everybody did. If
you were a teenage boy, you probably
absolutely. Yeah. Well, that's a lot of why I am the way I am. I'm the one who doesn't care about flopping because that's how I learned to do. I mean, I'm doing quotes right now to do stunt work. Is I just threw myself down hills and stairs and at walls, hurt myself until I figured out how to do it to not hurt myself. And Dunn was so far my favorite member of that entire cast. It goes Dunn and then 15 spaces and then Knoxville. And that one sucked. That one, when I heard about that one, I was like, fuck, man. That's another one. It's sad that you expected it too. One of these days we're gonna hear about one of these motherfuckers ODing or taking it a stunt going wrong and Steve-O got impaled on a fence.
I mean, Steve-O should have died.
Yeah, a bunch of times.
Yeah.
It's just, that one sucked.
Is that your person, Brian?
So you guys mentioned a few of them already. I was gonna say Robin Williams, but I was like, I mean, I feel like that's gonna come up, and that's I think in general, are definitely everyone our age felt that.
Oh, what about actually, you know what? Say what
I was gonna say, Philip Seymour Hoffman.
That one sucked.
Another one of those people that had been in my life for my entire life so far, and I didn't realize how much I loved him, and then kind of how sad his end was.
Yeah.
Because it was one of those things I didn't realize how much he was going through.
Yeah.
Where were you when you found out?
I'm almost positive was it sophomore year of college?
It was
freshman year.
It was 2014, February.
So your freshman year.
Yeah.
Freshman year.
Yeah, because I was in my.
I remember being in
theater to film class, which I took freshman year.
I was in a dorm. I don't remember. Obviously, it was freshman year. But I remember being in the dorm, seeing the news, being just no. I think it was on Twitter. I think I saw it there.
I heard it. I heard someone talking about it behind me. I think it was Marty. You remember Marty? I heard him talking to the people that he sat with behind me about Philip or PSH or whatever. And I was like, "What the fuck?" And then
he was highly respected, not only in film but also, I'm sure, mentioning the theater kids because
Death of a Salesman.
Oof. Oh, he's incredible.
I wish I could have seen that. I wish I could have seen that.
The teacher came in and was all like, "Hey, so before we start the lesson, something happened today, and I want to see just how everyone's feeling." And then we talked about Philip Seymour Hoffman for a half hour, and I had no idea that that he passed away that day. B, that so many people loved him so much. I knew who he was, obviously, and it's sad when anybody dies, but for me, it was one of those where that sucks, man. You have that natural human, sympathy, but you don't feel too personally affected. You're saddened by the loss of human life, but it doesn't, it didn't personally, affect me too much, but seeing how much everybody in the room was, really deeply sad, and, Marty had, tears in his eyes when he was talking about it, and I was like, wow. Yeah.
What's it called? I guess I remember the date differently because I remember it being Groundhog Day, February 2nd, which is Super Bowl Sunday. I might be remembering that part wrong because I was also in a theater about to see the movie Groundhog Day because it's one of my, and I was so excited. It's one of my top 20 movies. I love that film. And then right before it's about to start, before I turn my phone off, 3 text messages. R.I.P. Philip, R.I.P. Philip, and from 3 of my friends, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Right before the movie's about to start, I'm like, I don't want to see this now. Oh,
he died February 2nd, 2014.
Yeah. heroin overdose, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Another person I was thinking. Well, so we lost somebody today.
Yeah. That's what made us. That's what.
Is that what brought it up?
Yeah, that's what brought it up.
Makes sense. Yeah, Steven Hillenburg, the creator of SpongeBob, passed away today. And he was
57.
Yeah,
really way too young.
So I worked at Nick for about a year. I only saw him like vaguely in passing, but I think he left work right around the time I started there. I mean, everybody talked about how awesome this dude was. And I mean, he created one of the most popular kids shows ever. But that aside, apparently was just the sweetest dude in the world.
He did die when the Super Bowl was going on. I just looked
was
it
it was
really?
Was it
early on the same day?
Yeah.
Why were you in class?
Maybe we weren't.
I was well.
We would have been on at school.
Well, the game. I would have been in class while the game was going on.
Yeah.
It's on a Sunday though.
You're right.
Oh, I don't know. I remember.
Maybe it was the Monday directly after, and I didn't realize that he passed away during the Super Bowl.
My bad.
But
anyway,
Steven Hillenburg, which is super sad.
I saw Butch Hartman's tweet about it.
Yeah, he was highly loved back at the studio.
Was he like? I didn't know much about the guy, but was he like someone who like almost never had any bad press about him?
No, he's like family man, quiet guy, who just was in the right place, right time with an awesome idea.
Also, he did Rocko's Modern Life, which
it's one of everyone in the world's favorite cartoon.
Better be.
Yeah, another one. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
And then my last one was. I don't know if you guys know Harris Whittles. He was Emerson alumni.
Great writer.
He helped like. He didn't create Parks and Rec, but he helped. He helped the best seasons of Parks and Rec, and like some of the funniest stuff you remember from that show is him. And he was this young writer phenom that just was blowing up at the time. And he also had his demons, and he was fighting with drug addiction, and I believe he died from heroin as well.
Credited with the creation of the word humble brag.
Yes, he started that. I don't know if you guys...
He did?
Yes. I don't know if you remember this, but there was because they were joking about, through an ad, about how he created it, and he was going around to all the people's, all the actors, like, rooms on set, and were asking him about it, and Chris Pratt did a really funny, like, thing about humble bragging, how amazing he is, and, he ended up creating that, and I think it may have been in Parks and Rec, possibly.
What's it called? One of my friends worked at a production company, and there was this one room with, like, I'm not going to say the friend or, like, the company, but there was this one room that had a bunch of weird-ass shit in it. Like, a bunch of weird props and, like, random shit. And he just didn't know what that room was for the longest time till he was trying to look for something in there and he couldn't find it because all this shit's in his way. And he was just getting annoyed. He's like, okay, why is this shit here? And someone's just like, oh, that's Harris's stuff. Like, after he passed away, they didn't know what to do with it yet. Mm-hmm. Like, it was like he worked at that place, or one of his friends worked at that place and got all of his shit, and they didn't know what to do with it.
And he was one that I started to admire in retrospect.
Posthumously,
yeah. He was always on this show. I used to watch this show called Getting Dug with High, and it was just this, like, stupid talk show where people, as comedians came on, they got high and they asked each other questions. He would go on every so often, and most of the people that were on there were just not funny.
It's funny how I remember how much you liked this show and how much you tried to get me to watch it, and I was like, maybe next time, but I just did not like Doug or really any of the other, like,
don't find him funny. There was particular guests that would go on, and I found to be so fucking funny. And I started to find out what he did and Parks and Rec and all that stuff. But yeah, if you are at all interested in this guy or what he did, Aziz Ansari was good friends with him and wrote like a nice goodbye. I don't know where it was published.
I think I read it.
It's beautiful. He was a very good friend with him, and I know Sarah Silverman loved him.
Well, he got his start as a writer
on the Sarah Silverman
show.
Yeah.
I think he developed Masters of None like with Aziz.
Aziz.
The first season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he would have been going.
He would have been absolutely
crazy places.
Huge.
He'd be
They said he was annoyingly funny to the point where he would just say random shit and it would be funny somehow. He played him in Parks and Rec. He was one of the animal handlers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He got there eventually.
What's it called? Apparently, Adam Scott and Chris Pratt both preferred him being on set just because if the joke wasn't working or something like that, like even if he didn't write the episode, they'd just ask him like for advice. So we don't even know how many jokes were just
him.
Hey Harris, what should I say? Oh, just say that, then whispers something in their ear and then they say it.
That's great. I admire that talent so much. Another one that we didn't talk about, Harold Ramis.
Yeah.
That one, I remember where we were when that one happened. We were in the dining hall getting our chicken patties. It was that one was sad. That's another one that, though, I will say, like, there's a lot of stuff from like the late 80s to the like early 2000s that everyone I know my age has experienced and loves dearly. I just have no knowledge of. Like Ghostbusters is a big one. Like I've seen the first one time. I don't remember anything besides the ending of it. I haven't seen the second one. You know what I mean? There's a lot of like that, like Bill Murray, that crew. Like I saw Caddyshack for the first time, like fully through, like maybe 7 years ago. Like that's, you know what I mean? For someone who likes comedy and admires comedy writing and films, like so much of that stuff was alien to me until too late of an age. But yeah, that one was one that, again, as I learned more and I went back and I on my own sought out the stuff, that one hurt more and more and more.
What's it called? Evolving the conversation a little bit. Is there someone, not currently passed away, but is there someone right now, like if they were to die suddenly, you might just lose it?
One of the, maybe like Rhett or Link, or one of the Game Grumps, because it's funny how my interests and tastes have shifted, and the people that I admire creatively are now like digital creators and people that I can feel a little more related to. So like, yeah, Rhett or Link, or Aaron or Dan from the Grumps, or JonTron or any of those guys. But if we're going to talk more like
Jim Carrey,
yeah, that's exactly who I thought of first, because he's one who you can see kind of like might be losing it a little bit.
He has been doing better now, though.
He is. He seems to be. But like for a while there, my heart just broke every time I heard about him in the news. Just every single time I heard about something about him, my heart just quaked a little bit.
So this is in no way my person, but have you guys heard about Amanda Bynes and how she's doing now? An article came out today that she's 4 years sober.
Oh,
quit acting completely to focus on her mental health.
Okay.
You should read it. It's really interesting.
I would love for her to make a comeback.
Does she want one though?
I don't think so.
Oh.
I think she's like.
So I thought I read the same article until right now, because the article I read is that she might be considering a comeback. If not, and that's what she doesn't want to, good. Don't.
Did you hear about the Channing Tatum? Like, no, nothing bad.
Oh,
nothing bad. But I guess She's the Man. You know that movie she was in. And he was in.
Yes.
That she fought to get him in the movie, and I mean, it was. Speaking of humble brag, it kind of seemed like she was like, "Oh, I made him famous," and kind of did, because he had done only small things.
I didn't know he was in that until college, because we watched it in one of our. I don't remember what class or why we watched it, but we did.
When she puts the tampon up her nose, that is gold. And then Channing Tatum's doing it later on. Like, what, man? I didn't have any tissues.
Sorry for the sidetrack, but
it was in my Shakespeare class. Because it's
oh right.
Yeah, it's oh god, not Taming. Is it, what's,
no, it's
Why
not
was I thinking of
Taming
Taming of the Shrew?
It's not Taming of the Shrew.
I know it's not, but like, why is it the first one that comes to mind?
No, is it Taming of the Shrew?
No, it's definitely not.
I'm gonna look it up.
But
Taming of the Shrew is about pretty much trying to, literally what it sounds like, taming a woman who they found unruly, even though she was just pointing out how dumb they were.
Jim Carrey, I would say, would be one of those people. George Lucas would be one of those people. And
12th Night.
12th Night? Okay.
That's why, because there's a T in it. That's why we were thinking of it. Sorry.
I know Morgan well, see that's one that everyone says, but I don't know. It's a really sad.
I'm gonna be sad.
He's old though.
But at the same time, he's God, so we know we'll be okay.
That's true. Jack Nicholson. I don't know. I'm naming
Jack
people
Black.
that I really that would be a weird one.
That'll
be out of nowhere.
Ian McKellen.
Oh.
He's one who's old, but like
For you,
I'm getting sad thinking about that.
Yeah, for you, I was picturing that.
Fucking Lord of the Rings, man. My whole life. Oh, when learning about Peter Jackson himself almost dying. If he died trying to make The Hobbit, I think I would have hung myself. It's just that one's gonna hurt when Peter Jackson goes, when Ian McKellen goes, Christopher Lee hurt so much. But again, that one was one where it hurt, but it didn't really like hurt because he was old and he had been in 750,000 movies and like he's never gone. He's never gonna be gone. There's never gonna be a time in human history where he's not like he's inaccessible. You know what I mean?
I think I'd be distraught if we lost one of the 21 Pilot guys.
Yeah.
If we lost Tyler or Joseph or forgetting his other name, Tyler or Josh. That would be sad.
Yeah, because like when that gets into a lot of it, when like Chester Bennington, fuck, damn it, I don't like this topic anymore, James.
Sorry.
No, that one hurts so much because he's another one who like Linkin Park.
All right.
When it's like you know how much emotional baggage there was with him and how much mental health meant to him in general, and like I always admire people more when that is something like that they care genuinely about. That's why I like the Grumps, because they're always very candid about how they try to better themselves and how you shouldn't be ashamed of getting therapy, and taking your mental health seriously is the most like strong thing you can do, and all that. Like people who have the balls to identify, especially men, and like it sucks because it's kind of gender normy, but like there's a lot of what's the word I'm looking for, stigma around men and mental health, and it's actually a major problem. Is like my dad, I just want him to go talk to somebody, because I try to when I'm home, but I just like you just see there's so much like he wishes he could say or do or act like, but he doesn't, because he was raised very like men don't cry, take care of everything, all the traditional shit. So when I see men who can both be someone who's badass, like Chester is a fucking badass, but he cared so much about mental health. Like the dude from from Imagine Dragons is another one I admire for this, because he's in great shape, he's a fucking tank, he gets his ass beat by Dolph Lundgren in the one music video. Mm-hmm. But he's like, he will take the time during a show to like don't be afraid to look for help and like try to just talk to somebody. There's nothing weak about wanting to solve problems. It's just another battle that you can win. And what's not manly about winning battles and being a fucking warrior? And so Chester's one that I admire, and was saddened when I heard about him, because that was one who was like a warrior against that ultimate enemy that is our own brains, and he kind of didn't win in the end, but
And a moment I had recently was we were watching
nice story. And James, who was kind of researching all the actors in it, was just going through and found out one of the guys in it, he committed suicide like not too long ago. I think it was like maybe within the past few years or last year.
Yeah, like last 2017.
And that was just kind of sobering because of I mean he's pretty boy, complete pretty boy, and our society tells us like all those things, like there's very specific characteristics that'll apparently bring you happiness. And it just was like
bullshit. Being a human sucks.
Yeah, it's nothing perfect ever.
Then another thing about that, the coach that it's about died while the movie was being made. He never got to see it. Yeah, so it's like, what's a uplifting way we can wrap this up? And I guess the one positive takeaway is that we didn't talk about any of these people, and focus on like how forgettable they were. Every single one of these people like left behind a legacy that in a way means that they're going to stick around, and no matter who you are, you will leave that for someone. And that's an important thing. It's like you shouldn't like seek out the end of your life. Absolutely not. Life is a beautiful thing, and you should try to make it last as long as you can, or be as impactful as you possibly can. But the best way you could live your life, I think, personally, is to live it in a way where you positively affect those around you, so that no matter what, no matter how old or young you are when you pass away, you're always around because you made an impact on those around you. And like the people in our lives that have passed away have done that for us, and even the celebrities that we never got to meet, they had that impact. And I think in the end, like Dunn and Chester and Robin Williams and everybody that we talked about would feel a little better knowing how much of an impact they had on everyone that they left behind.
You know who did not do that? Tom Cruise in Collateral. He got shot and was on the LA Metro all night, and no one found him. No one cared. Sad ending.
For a second, I thought you were going to say Tom Cruise.
Like, when did Tom Cruise die?
Yeah.
He's another one that I would not be surprised he blows up in some pyrotechnic.
That's one though.
Yeah,
like, I don't know if I'll be sad though. Does that make sense? After that super heartfelt speech about
Tyler, goddammit.
Well said, by the way.
Thank you.
I do think Tom Cruise is gonna go in a blaze of pyrotechnic glory.
Like I think he blew up, breaking the ground speed record for Mission Impossible 7. He's 82 years old, and he's going 340 miles an hour in a turbo rocket car, and it just lifts off and goes into space. Everyone's like,
he's humming to himself,
gets shredded.
Friction.
Where's Tom? And then they turn on the windshield wipers.
He's in orbit. Yeah. It's like, you know what? I feel like that's how he would have wanted to.
You guys, if this actually happens, this episode is going to age poorly. Just want to let you know.
Oh no. Sorry, Tommy.
No, I mean he's one who's one of my favorite actors right now, but I don't like admire him. Does that make sense?
I'm scared of him.
Yeah, no, he frightens me, but I enjoy watching him. He's very talented.
I have a fear.
But I'm afraid that one day we're gonna learn that secretly Scientology has been like murdering people like in the hundreds as part of some Illuminati thing to like quell the population. They've been like closet quelling human beings for years, and it's all his idea. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
I'm hoping. To end,
Jesus,
no.
Brian.
To end
this took a weird turn.
To end this, who do you think is gonna go first? Betty White.
Oh no.
Or Tom Cruise?
Tom Cruise.
Yeah, Tom Cruise.
I think Betty.
All right.
No,
I
think Tom Cruise he's either gonna die within the next like 3 years, trying to like, cause I love him, but he's getting slower and he's getting older. He's either gonna die within the next 3 years doing some insane stunt for a movie that he has no business doing. My bed's about to fall apart. And or he's gonna live to be like 108.
And I hope he does
Me
because I
too.
want to see crazy Tom Cruise.
I want to see
crazy
75-year-old Tom Cruise jump out of a building.
Old man Maverick.
Seriously.
Because just final thing, I watched the movie Taps recently at work, and he's in that
You
as a
in this
young
movie?
little boy, and he's crazy then, and he's so good at playing crazy. On that one, he was playing crazy.
Oh man, well, this was fun in a existential, self-reflective, sad kind of way.
Hold on to your loved ones.
Sorry.
And
Yep.
keep watching your favorite movies and
Be good to the people you love as often and as much as you can.
Even the
because
people you don't love.
Even the people you don't love. There's no situation where being a good person was the wrong choice. At the end of the day. And you don't know how much longer you have with the people around you. You don't know how much longer you have with the creators you love. So go to all the people that you love watching and, I don't know, on YouTube, leave a happy comment. Tell them that they're doing a good thing. Something like that. Because everybody needs it. Even if you need it, don't be afraid to talk about it. Thanks for listening.
good night.
I don't know if every episode is going to be this deep and serious. Wouldn't hate it if it was.
We love you.
Yep.
Good night.
Okay.